Well, here we go, guys. Once again, for the start of the qualifying here in Mexico. We don't like that on. That on, that on, that on. Cool. So once again, looks like Yari is still opting to start on the start qualifying on the medium tyres. Cheering for Scotty, my partner for Canada. Nice one, mate. Give Scotty all the support that he needs for this upcoming race. I love how varied all the countries are in this SRL community racing we've got going here, whatever you want to call it. It's absolutely class. The two decided to wait a little bit like they did in the first run at qualifying. He was our fastest driver. Yellow flags in sector 3. I'm assuming the flow drivers as Wet Boy on Drug starts his first fast lap. The yellow flag in sector 2, 3. Stay on board here with Wet Boy on Drugs. Gotta get up my images now so I know where everyone's racing from. Wet Boy on Drugs, of course, with the Netherlands, that's correct. My Wet Boy on Drugs setting well, obviously setting the fast sector because no one else is setting a lap yet. But still, he's not looking too bad here, to be fair. Bit nice and tidy. And he will set the first lap time, which is a 1:14.7. My Raz sets a 1:14.9. On board here with Bob Sadity. Got to cross the line. Bob Sadity sets a 1:14.8, sticks him in between Wet Boy on Drugs and Raz. The Scottish panel hasn't validated his lap time. Same for him, that. On board with Vision. Comes round the final corner. What lap times are you going to be able to set? The 1:14.8 gets us up into P3. Very nicely done. No, I believe it's just 3 races, mate. And then we'll be doing season 2, I believe. It's just 3 races. But don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been told anyway. Meanwhile, on board with our old friend Frisky. My co-commentator I wish was with me, but sadly is too fast to not be racing in this group. What time is he going to set? Sets at 1:15.4, puts himself into P7. Meanwhile, Tool has managed to go set at 1:14 flat and get himself onto that provisional pole position. So he's certainly not lost any pace from the previous attempt at qualifying. That bit I'm not sure, mate. I'm not sure how promotions and demotions are, and relegation, I should say, is happening, man. I'm sure there'll be some movement, though. I'd be surprised there wasn't. So that looks like, Frisky looks like he's having another go straight away at setting a faster time. So we'll stay on board with him for now. But what a lap that is from Tool. 7/10 quicker than any other driver on the field so far. Of course, we still have a good number of drivers still to set lap times, so anything can still happen. Meanwhile, Frisky comes down the final corner, and he is going to set a 1:14.9, put himself up into P5. Meanwhile, on board with Yari, who would love to join his teammates at the top of the grid, representing the Netherlands, of course. So Yari does a faster sector 1 there. We know how quick he can be when he's on it. And he's looking very good here, not losing any speed, not going wide at all, keeping it nice and tidy. Doesn't go too wide at all, keeps that very nice and clean. This looks like a very nice lap from Yari. What time is he going to set? He's going to set at 1:13.9 and puts himself onto the provisional pole. Fantastic lap from Yari. So, only 3 drivers not set lap times so far. That is Penna, Scotty Fennell, who is setting a lap time right now, just started his fast lap, and Salvanic. So, 10 minutes to go in qualifying. We've done about 6 minutes so far. Yari's time of 1:13.9 is the quickest time so far. Tool so close to him at the moment. Was on pole, to drop to P2 by Yari, of course. And then there's about 5 tenths or longer between the rest of the cars after that. So you can see who the early pace setters are so far. Meanwhile, Scotty Fennell has invalidated his lap there, so he's not going to set a lap time. Neither is Penna. Salvanic could, though, he still kept his lap time validated on the soft tyres. Wonder what he can do coming on the final couple of corners. What time can he set? And Salvanic sets a 1:15.7, puts himself up into P12. So it's now only Scotty Fennell and Penna who have not set lap times. Meanwhile, Tool is down on his attempt at trying to reclaim provisional pole. And he is going to jump into the pits. Meanwhile, on board here with Raz. He is, of course, representing his beloved England, currently in P9, has done a 1:14.9, and has actually just divided his lap time, so that is going to come That's going to put that run to an end. So Scotty, Fennell and Penn are both coming out to try and set lap times here. Meanwhile, Frisky, as fastest lap time at the moment is a 1:14.9. Currently in P8. Wonder if he can put himself up a few places. Come on, Frisky lads. Show that commentators aren't rubbish drivers. And he has done a faster sector 2 there. So he's looking on course to improve on his time. But how much is he going to improve? It's a 1:14.9. So only by a little bit keeps himself in P8. Meanwhile, Yadi about to set another fast lap. Start a fast lap, I should say. Meanwhile, aboard with Carcraft. We know how fast a lap time he can set. Of course, was in the fight to win the Driver Championship in F1 last season. So no surprise to see him towards the top of the grid. Meanwhile, we'll jump on board with Nico. Representing the USA. Currently in P4, can he go any faster? He does a 1:14.2, which, oh, it's so close to his original time. Meanwhile, Wet Boy on drugs. Currently in P5. What can he do here? It comes around the final corner. Once that start-finish straight, can he improve on his time at all? He can, and puts it up into P4. Meanwhile, Yari has gone even quicker and got a 1:13.8. We'll jump on board here with Tool. Kiki needs to get himself off the track here. A shame for Tool here. This is going to ruin his lap, and he is going to spin out. The entrance to see Kiki. He was not sent out last time. He was doing an out lap, and he should have gotten out of the way, and that is a shame for Tool. Because Carcraft has now gone faster and has put himself up into P2, which is the motor 2 down to P3. That is a shame, that. But luckily he's got no damage, so it shouldn't take him too long to come back out. But yeah, in my opinion there, Kiki should be jumping well out the way there, even though he's on the out lap. Meanwhile, Penn are taking a very long corner cut to try and get back to the pits, perhaps. And not as much as Scotty Fennell is, goodness me. These are Mario Kart shortcuts, these. But you gotta do what you gotta do, of course. So we've just got under 4 minutes to go left of qualifying. That's why you've seen all the drivers darting into the pits to put on another set of soft tyres, perhaps, fuel up the car to go for their final run and potentially getting themselves a few more places up the grid for the race. As Liam decides to take advantage of a clear track and come out to the track. I think it was Liam anyway. Someone came out. Or was it Bob Sider? I think it was actually Bob Sider. Meanwhile, Salvin has invalidated his lap time. So I'd be very surprised if he does not jump into the pits here, which he does. Salvanich representing Chile, I think. Or is he representing someone else? I've got down as Chile here, whether that's changed, I'm not sure. Meanwhile, Salvanich is actually retired from the session. So that is the end of his qualifying. So 2.5 minutes to go, and everyone is jumping out for their final fast laps of the session. It's been clear who the pace setters have been. It's been Yari, Carcraft, and Tool. Nico's managed to get a bit close to be fair, 114.2, but it's going to take a mega lap to dethrone any of these guys. But we've seen it before. We've seen it in the past. As Carcraft's actually out of the session. I don't know whether he's just retired or whatnot. Didn't see anything. There are yellow flags. But that's a shame for him, so he's probably quite vulnerable to lose his P2. As though someone spun out. It is Penna. I don't know whether he got touched or he's just lost it, but that's probably going to put an end to his qualifying. That's a shame for him. As there's more yellow flags in Sector 2, I think it's just Penna coming back onto the track. In fact, Brisky I think has gone off as well, and Penna's gone off again. His tyres, of course, very thingy. And he's actually got a 5-grid penalty for a collision with Bob Sada. So we didn't see what actually happened there. But that's going to impact him in the race for sure. Meanwhile, on board here with Raz, representing England. He's currently in P9, on the medium tyres. As Frisky retires from the session as well. I don't know what happened there. In fact, that's the end of Raz's qualifying. So Frisky must have got himself some damage, which resulted in him having to retire. I wonder if he's in the stream and can let us know what exactly happened there. But we'll jump on board here with Vision. Representing Belgium, currently in P5. Can he go and can he improve on his time? I think he's going to, yep, he'll stay in P5 but he'll improve his time by 2 tenths. Meanwhile, Penna is now retiring from the session. Also, he doesn't have time to go and set another lap. Meanwhile, the current provisional pole setter, Yari. Oh, I thought he was going to go into the wall there. Managed to just correct it at the end there, and he's not going to go quicker, and he's going to jump to the pits. That's the end of his qualifying. Meanwhile, Tool. Oh, Penna almost got in his way, but it's alright. Not Penna. Sorry, my bad. Not sure who it was now. Anyway, Tool here. Can he improve on his time and perhaps snatch pole off Yari? Comes round the final corner. What can he do? It's at 113.8, which gets us up into P2, but is not enough to beat Yari, who stays in pole position. And that is the end of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, as Jules comes across the line. Wow. That was an eventful qualifying session. It was kept pretty clean, and in the last couple of minutes there, we had quite a few retirements happen. A couple of people going off. But congratulations to Yari, who gets pole position with a 113.816. Two very close behind him at 113.874. But not enough ultimately to retake pole. So it will be a front row battle of Belgium against the Netherlands by looks of things with Yari and Tool. Carcraft is on the second row with Nico. Vision Bob Sadder on the third row. Whipboy on Drugs is joined by Frisky. Raz and Penner on the fifth row. Liam and Scotty are on the sixth row. Sherikiki and Jules on the seventh. And Salvage is all on his own at the back on the eighth row. But of course, Penner has that 5 position grid penalty, so that's actually going to drop him to the back of the grid. So everybody below that will get a free position, if you like. Oh my word, guys, we're up to 13 viewers. That is absolutely ridiculous. Thank you to everyone that is tuning in, and I hope you're enjoying the stream, and I hope you enjoy the race. If you are a driver, of course, good luck in the race. Hope it goes well for you. Should be a good one. So, it's having a few problems again with servers. I'm sure I'll just get jumped straight onto the grid for the formation lap when the session starts. So just bear with us for a second. There we are. I know, I'm begging, no bugs, Bellinator lad. I'm begging. But it looks like we're okay. We'll leave that on. No, we don't want that on. Don't want that on. Let's have position change on for the start of the race. But that is your predicted pit stop strategy if you're interested in that. Ultimately, in our race, as I need to get back up, we were doing a one stop pretty much. So I started some stops on my own, so the videos made those last to the end of the race. So I would suspect that's going to be the same here, but you never know. In fact, 36 laps, actually might not be a 2-stop, actually won't it? I'm just remembering that we're on different tracks. Being an absolute idiot there, guys, my apologies. The drivers just coming round there, finishing their formation lap, warming up their tyres so they're ready to go for the race start. This could be anyone's, to be honest with you, depending on if you can avoid incidents happening to you, if you get the pit stops right as well. There's so many factors, you know. This is going to be a great race. You can't count anyone out for winning this race. Could be anyone's. We know who the early pace setters are, but it's never always that simple with Formula 1 racing. So there's the drivers line up on the grid for the start of the race. Keep it nice and clean, lads, for the start. No heroics in that first corner. Have a good race. As loads of bugs happening, but we have 5 red lights. And away we go for the start of the SRL Nations League Group 1 race. Ajani gets away well with Tool. As they all come round the first corner. Looks like everyone's has got through very cleanly. That's what we like to see. Oh no, there's a spin out. It's Bob Sadder who got into a bit of problem there. I think someone just tapped him and put into the back of the grid. It's a shame for him. but Yari has managed to preserve his first position at the first couple of corners, then followed by Tool, then you got Nico and Vision who gained a few places. Carcraft has dropped a few, he didn't have a great start. But the biggest loser at the moment out of the first lap so far is definitely Bob Sadder, who has dropped all the way from P6 down into P15. That is a real shame for him. Hopefully he can make up those places so he hasn't got damage as well. As Yari comes around the final corner to finish the first lap of the race. As Carcraft here might fancy a move here on Vision. They're side by side here. They're still side by side. Carcraft's gonna have the inside line here. Oh, Vision gave him a little tap. We squeezed him out just a little bit, and now Wet Boy and Drugs has got past Carcraft. As Bob's, I should say Bob's side, but it's just that glitch again. So Yari has now got himself almost a second gap to Tool out in front. You know, one to try and get himself straight away out of that DRS zone. Let's just create a little bit of distance between him and Tool as Jules picks up the first 3-second penalty, I think, of the race. Carcraft here might fancy having a go and trying to get Wet Boy and Drugs, get his position back, his P5 back. He's gaining on him here. He's gaining. Has he got the move done here? 3 seconds time penalty for Carcraft there. Wet Boy and Drugs, I think both for corner cutting. But Carcraft has to concede the position, and also Raz has now got past him, so his teammate getting a helping hand there, and he might fancy go now on Wet Boy and Drugs, but has to stay in behind him. Ooh, got a little bit close there. We will just change it to interval. On board here with Frisky. Got a perfect view of the battle up ahead of Carcraft and Raz. Or did they touch there? Potentially, they're both side by side. Raz had the line and Carcraft has to stay in behind him. Well, Raz just had a little bit of oversteer there, and that has invited his teammate onto him, and Raz has decided to go into the pits. He must have some damage, or he's decided to pit early to get onto a harder compound outside. Nevertheless, that has promoted Carcraft up into P6. Meanwhile, at the back, Salvadich is going to get past Penna. So plenty of action happening on the track so far. None of these drivers are settling to the race. They all want to overtake and get up that grid as quickly as possible by the looks of things. As Carcraft's battle with Wet Boy and Drugs continues here. He's just following him very nicely here, especially he gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Who will be very interested in this battle that we are currently watching. A little bit of a lock up there slightly by Carcraft, but not affecting them too much. And he's gonna get DRS soon, which might help him get past Wet Boy and Drugs, who desperately tries to get out of the slipstream, not giving him slipstream. And now there's that DRS that I was talking about, and they go side by side. and he actually gets the move done very nicely there with the help of DRS. Meanwhile, Sharikiki, the couple of Jules, who just lost it a little bit there on the curb. Sharikiki might fancy a move here. Nope, he's going to think better of it. And Jules has actually gone a little bit wide there. He's compromised himself massively. And that is going to promote Sharikiki up into P10. Jules just trying to defend a little bit there, but went a little bit too deep on, didn't break it early enough, and it just allowed Sharikiki just to breeze past him. So out in front is still Yari. He has a 1.5 second gap now to Tool. He is ever so slightly increasing that gap as we're on board with Vision, who fancies a move on Nico with help with DRS. They go side by side. This is an area where most overtakes have happened so far, and he gets the move done. Nico, who of course cruelly lost out in the Drivers' Championship in F1 in the final race, will be hoping to put himself in the best possible preparation for upcoming Season 2. Meanwhile, Jules has gone wide again, and Sharikiki is going to, at the same place, get past Jules. And I wonder if, but compromised himself completely there. Little corner cut as well. Meanwhile, Penna thinking of a move potentially on Salvador here. Just needs to keep it nice and tidy here. Set himself up nicely for the DRS, upcoming DRS zone. Penna, who is representing Brazil, might be a little bit too far back here to get any move done on Salvador, and he will have to settle for staying in behind him. So apart from that spin on Bob Sada, it's been relatively clean so far in the race, which is always good to see, but plenty of action happening. But he's still just keeping that gap to about half a second on Wet Boy and Drugs. He's just biding his time. He's not in a hurry to get past him. There's plenty of laps to go, and he knows this. Meanwhile, Jules has now lost out to Bob Sada now, and is down in P12. Might be able to potentially make a move. Scotty Fennell gets past Wet Boy and Drugs because of Wet Boy going into the pits along with Bob Sada. Where's what am I looking for? Yeah, that's what I'm after. So that is the pit stop situation at the moment. You would suspect that the people on soft tyres are thinking about coming in for their first stop, as Wet Boy and Drugs comes on to the medium tyres. Interestingly, Bob Sada jumps onto softs. Meanwhile, on board with the race leader, Yari picks up a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, I believe. Just needs to, I think he's got a couple now, so just needs to be a bit careful. Meanwhile, Nico is losing touch with Vision slightly here. Gap almost out of the R stage, needs to try and stay in there. As Vision jumps into the pit and Nico decided to stay out and do an extra lap. Meanwhile, Frisky also deciding to stay out. As the pit window officially opens now. So Salvanich here, gaining on Jules. They've been on their tyres since the start of the race. Salvanich is on soft tyres, which I'm sure will be desperately wanting to be changed. I wonder if he'll jump into the pit sector, as there's yellow flags in sector 1, and it is Penna that has spun out. So those soft tyres becoming a menace for him. And he is now at the back of the grid, and I think he's done his front wing, though he's definitely done it now. And that is a real shame for Penna. But should be able to get himself back to the pits, which means we will not need a safety car. Meanwhile, Nico comes in for his first pit stop. So pit stops are just rotating the grid a little bit here. Liam on the medium tyres against Frisky's soft tyres. You would suspect there would be only one winner here, Frisky. Soft tyres must be screaming at the moment. Liam will know this, he just keeps himself steady, isn't looking to overtake him too suddenly. Scotty Taylor picks up a 3 second time penalty, as you can see in the bottom of your screens. So Frisky here, as before, is going to jump into the pit. That will promote Liam up into P4. In fact, it's going to promote to P3 as Carcraft is also in the pits. So Liam takes the lead of this race due to pit stops. He and Scotty, of course, haven't pitted yet. One of only 4 drivers who have not had a pit stop. You wonder if he's going to try and extend his medium tyre stint, or if he's going to think about just going in the end of this lap. We'll wait and see. Meanwhile, on board with Nico on fresh, hard tyres, because Jules has been on those medium tyres since the start. Just causing him 1 or 2 problems here, Jules. See, Nico is all over him here. Gets DRS on Jules here as well. Meanwhile, there's yellow flags in sector 2, and it is Raz that is now span out. Not sure what happened there, but that has allowed Salvanich to get past us. There's also yellow flags another part of the track, but luckily someone go wide. Meanwhile, we're aboard with Nico, who will fly past Jules into P7. See, we could tell that move was coming, and Nico on those fresher tyres. Meanwhile, Carcraft might fancy a move on Nico now, after getting past Jules himself. A little bit of a lock up there from Carcraft, but yeah. Nothing too major. Yeah, they pick up another 3-second time penalty. Who looks like he's about to overtake Liam to retake the lead of this race to go side by side. Yanni makes light work of Liam and is back in the lead of this race. Back on board with Nico, who is under pressure by Carcraft, but is also putting pressure on Sharikiki himself. I think Sharikiki, did he just hit the wall a little bit there, or just go a little bit wide? Whatever it is, it's not compromising too much. I think if he hit the wall, he's just getting himself a little bit of a push as Nico gets DRS going. Carcraft is actually side by side here. This is very interesting as they go. Get three cars going in the same corner together almost. Carcraft still in behind Nico. And it looks like he's going to have to stay there. Not quite enough room to make a move stick. Meanwhile, Nico having a move on Sharikiki here. They go side by side. Sharikiki will just hold on to the position for now. Desperately trying to hold on to the position. But you can see Nico just setting himself up nicely here. And that's a really nice run out of that corner he got. Right on the back of Sharikiki. They're going to go, oh, and a little bit of contact there, maybe. Sharikiki holds on to the position. Look like a little dive bomb there. But nothing too major. As they come on to the start-finish straight, Nico's going to get DRS. You would suspect that Sharikiki might have a bit of a harder time of holding on to the position now, as Carcraft fancies getting involved as well, as Carcraft actually is going side by side with Nico. There's a little bit of contact between Carcraft and Nico, a little bit of a nudge, and Carcraft throws him up to P6 and Sharikiki gets P7 and Nico's now down in P8. It looked like some friendly contact there between the two drivers. None wanted to give that up as Nico forced while going wide of Sharikiki, who actually gets a bit of understeer there, which allowed Carcraft just to get away from him just a little bit. And those medium tyres look a little bit worn now on Sharikiki's car. You wonder whether a pit stop might be on the cards now. Meanwhile, Vision in P3 on the soft tyres for 4 laps. He's actually not gaining on Tool, he's actually slightly losing a couple of tenths to him. As Liam opting to hit onto soft tyres. So we're on lap 15 of 36 in this SRL Nations League Group 1 Race 1 here in Mexico. Yari, who has led from the start, still leads this race at a 1.8 second gap to Tool. Meanwhile, we'll jump downwards actually to Bob Sada in the battle for P7 here. As there's yellow flags in sector 3, and it is Henna once again who is being involved in an incident or has lost it. I think he might have just lost it there. I didn't see any other cars around him, but he's having a miserable time, isn't he, Henna? It's a shame for him. But we'll jump back on board with Bob Sada, who will get DRS on Wet Boy on Drugs. It's England against Sorry, no, it's not England. It's Algeria against Holland here. My Jogs just, oh, did he lose? Just a little bit wider. Oh, he's lost it on the curve, and that is going to be a free position for Bob Sada. It looked like he had a little bit of trouble in the previous corner, and then he just couldn't recover it, and he just lost. It just flipped it a little bit, and just lost it, but hasn't affected. So he just lost one position to Bob Sada. Who moves it up into P7 as Henna is. I don't know what he's doing. It looked like he was trying to take someone out there, but has been ultimately disqualified from the race, which concludes a miserable Mexico race for him. And he becomes our first retirement / disqualification of this race. He kept relatively clean so far, just some very good racing action. We're on board with Wet Boy and Jogs, who would love to get his position back on Bob Sada. But he does seem to be struggling on those medium tyres here, the Dutch driver. As they both come onto the start-finish straight. Bob Sada, of course, on the faster tyres, on those soft tyres, but might start to struggle now with having done 8 laps on them. He's gaining slightly, he's not going to gain enough to make a move on him here. Let's see, he gets a 3-second time penalty for a corner cut. Bob Sada corner cut a bit there, as he gets a really nice run. That's Bob Sada here. They go side by side, as there's yellow flags in sector 1, and it is Sharakiki who has gone off the track in sector 1. And I think he might have had contact with someone. We keep missing it, unfortunately, which I do apologise for. Hopefully if people know anything else, they can let me know. As we jump back on, on board with Liam, who is gaining on Bob Sada. Gets going on the outside of him. It looks like he has got the move done and gets them up into P7. Wet Boy and Jogs here. Now my fancy a go on Bob Sada. He's going to get DRS. He's got the slipstream as well. This has definitely been the part of the track where our most overtakes have happened. It's going to go to the outside. In fact, Scotty Fennell is just quietly in the mix here, as well as Bob Sada has to go very wide there. And he's touched Wet Boy. And they do make contact. Don't think any damage happens. But this might welcome Scotty Fennell on Bob Sada a little bit more now. Oh, Bob Sada's gone horrendously wide there, and that has given Scotty Fennell a free position up into P9. So Yari's still out in front here. He has almost got a 2-second gap to Tool. Unfortunately, the Belgian driver just doesn't seem to be able to close the gap to Yari at all. He's just sort of stuck in this 1.8 second gap to him. But he's not in danger of losing that position as Carcraft is 12 seconds down the road. As Vision deciding to pit, is it? Or he's just coming out of the pits actually. As Wet Boy on Drugs is having some contact here with Vision. As there's yellow flags in sector 3. Not sure who it's for. As Vision and Wet Boy just won't give each other up, as there's yellow flags in sector 2 and 3, and it's Carcraft that's gone off. And that has allowed Nico to get ahead of him. I don't know if he's got any damage at all. We'll have to wait and see if he's going to jump into the pits here. But that's a real shame for Carcraft, who is going to have to jump into the pits. Meanwhile, Liam, fancy a move on Frisky. He's on soft tyres. What's he going to do? He's going to go to the inside of Frisky here. And he thinks he's got the move done, and he has. With those soft tyres, it was relatively easy work from him putting himself up into P4. Meanwhile, we'll jump back on board here for the battle for P6 between Vision and Scotty. Vision on fresh medium tyres. Scotty's been on those soft tyres for only 4 laps, so they should still be relatively decent. But he made a little bit of a mistake there. It's allowed Vision just to get away from him just a little bit. Needs to make sure he doesn't lose touch of DRS, and he has actually lost touch of DRS of Vision. Meanwhile, we'll jump on board with Carcraft, who is going to get past Raz here. So we have a look at the stops here. Most drivers have only done 1 stop. Vision, Carcraft and Bob Sada are the only ones who have done a 2 stop at the moment, so you suspect that some drivers will still have to come into the pits once again, as Raz does indeed do that. You suspect the guys on medium tyres will be coming in a few laps as well, so still plenty of things can happen that can shake up where all these drivers are going to finish at the end of the race. We're on board here with Jules, trying to catch up to Carcraft here. Those hard tyres though just causing him a few problems, and Carcraft on those fresh mediums is just decreasing the gap just a little bit to him. Meanwhile, Vision is in DRS of Frisky once again here. It's Belgium against Wales here. Vision here is going to go to the inside of Frisky. And I think this time he has got the move done and he's got himself up into P5 on those fresher tyres. His Carcraft sets the fastest lap of the race of 1:16.5. He'll be able to get himself up the field after that crash that has demoted him down to P8, and also meant he's had to pit again. But he might be able to go to the end of the race with those tyres. We'll wait and see. I think he should be able to, as long as he looks after them. Meanwhile, interestingly, Tool has managed to get the gap down to Yari to less than a second. He's just upped the pace the last couple of laps, and he is now less than a second behind Yari. And all of a sudden, the battle for the lead of this race is on. Both these drivers are going to have to pit again, so I wonder who is going to decide to try to pit first and maybe try the undercut. With a little bit of a lock up from Tool, but meanwhile we'll jump back on board to Vision, who after getting past Frisky looks like he's gaining on Liam here. Liam been on those soft tyres now for 7 laps. Vision only been on his medium to 3 laps. Liam's having a few problems. He's going on those softs. And Vision here looks like he's going to get a move done here as they go side by side. Going to have the inside line, and he gets past Liam very nicely. You know, Liam might get the switch back here. Before they were going to make contact there, but they avoided each other very nicely. And that is Vision up into P4. Meanwhile, Tool is gaining on Yari every single lap. And he is now right on the back of the race leader. It is Belgium against Holland here as Yanni goes a little bit wide there. Two of a lapped car getting in his way slightly here, but they are on go, so it shouldn't affect him too much. But this is getting interesting now. And Raz will not be doing Tool any favours, that will be very distracting. But of course Raz has every right to continue driving. He's of course trying to racing himself. Raz looking like he's actually racing Yari himself here. Now this is going to be interesting, because Tool is going to have DRS and Yari has a little bit of understeer a bit there. Had to counter steer there to correct himself, and it's just put him a couple of tenths further back than he would have liked to have been. But he's gaining on Yari, but I don't think he's going to be able to make a move on Yari, defending very nicely. And Tool will have to stay in behind him for now. Meanwhile, at the back, Webboy and Jugs gets past Jules. There was a little bit of contact there, maybe, or was a bit of lag, I don't know. But Webboy and Jugs is something to pretend. Who also might fancy a go on Sharakiki here, who's been on his soft tires for 8 laps. We'll be thinking about pitting soon, I'm sure. Just wonder how much Webboy and Jugs wants to fight in here. You'll be hoping Sharakiki goes into the pits here, to be honest. Which he does not do. But he's going to get DRS, he's all over the back of him. And you suspect this is going to be a relatively easy move on the start-finish straight here. Which it does prove to be. Meanwhile, Tool always decided to jump into the pits and maybe try the undercut on Yari. He had to try something because he just lost. The gap just started increasing again there. But I had to try something new. So this will be interesting to see. Meanwhile, Vision might fancy a move on Nico. Nico, ooh, he almost into the barrier there. I think he may have hit the barrier actually. And that's compromised him massively. And Vision's got a very nice run at him here. And once again, not for the first time in this race, the start-finish straight is the place where somebody goes up a position and gets himself into the podium spot with 10 laps to go. Meanwhile, Liam and Frisky in the pits jumping onto the soft tyres to go to the end of the race, hopefully. Couple of drivers jumping into the pits. Sharakiki onto softs. That's probably the best option if you're going to have to pit now, is jump onto softs. As Yari now comes into the pits. So, where is Tool? 19 seconds. He's a couple of corners from Yari, who is just getting his tyres put on now. Tool is just coming around the final corner. Yari just exiting the pits. Is Yari going to stay ahead of Tool here? This is going to be quite close, this. No, he is not. The undercut has worked, and Tool promotes himself into the lead of this race. By a couple of seconds as well. Very, very good decision then for Tool to pit earlier than Yari. Meanwhile, Frisky on fresh soft tyres after Webboy and Jugs. He's after P7 and he's going to make it very light work, as Jules has been disqualified from this race for warnings, and salvage is also out of this race as there's yellow flags in sector 3. I wonder if that is to do with salvage. But something's definitely happened there, I think between those two drivers potentially. And that is our second and third retirement of the session as Sharikiki gets past Raz in QP11. And Tool setting the fastest lap of the race with a 1:16.1. Sending out a clear message to Yari that you're going to have to really up your pace if you're going to catch me. As Nico has got a 5-second penalty for speed in the pit lane. That's a real shame for him. I'm assuming he's going to have to set it here. No, he'll be at this the end of his race. So we're on lap 28 now as Raz goes a little bit wide there. We've got 8 laps to go in this race. Currently Tool is leading the race, then followed by Yari. Yari will be absolutely gutted if it's a pit stop that stops him winning this race. So with 8 laps to go, I wonder if anybody in the chat has a potential driver of the day. It's relatively early, so I won't ask you until about, I won't confirm until about the end of the race. But that gives you a good bit of time to think who has had a brilliant race. Of course, top 2 is an easy choice. I think Carcraft's been pretty decent. Nico's put in some good overtakes. Frisky, of course, not a bad race either in P7. So let me know who you guys think. As there's yellow flags in sector 2 and 3 and someone's off. I'm not sure who it is exactly. I think it was it Scotty, I'm not too sure. In fact, I think it was Red Boy and Drugs who's actually out the race that we just seen there. So that's a real shame for him. Which brings an end to his race. And he was having a solid race, to be fair, in the midfield. But that is the end now. Not sure whether he got contact with someone or whatever. But still, it's a shame for him. So with 7 laps to go, all the cars are a little bit spaced out here. As the gel flag sector 3 again. And it is Vision, who I think has just lost it on his own. There's no one really around him. You can see he's struggling on his medium tyres a bit. He has lost a bit of his front wing and he will have to jump into the pits now, and that's a real shame for him. Which effectively will probably mean it'll be very tough to finish in the on the podium, as Carcraft is now going to take P3. The Vision has exited the pits and he is P7. In fact, he might get. Is he going to be able to get past him here? Vision will really have to test those new tyres right away here. And he will be able to defend Scotty and stay in P7. That's a real shame for Vision. But we'll stay on board here with Scotty. Been on the soft side for a couple laps, not too many though. So his tyres should be fresh. Vision just locking up a bit there, trying to get some heat into those new tyres. And he is definitely very vulnerable here to Scotty. Although having said that, Vision's just got absolutely bulleted away and has gotten some way out of DRS zone. So 5 laps to go, guys. 5 laps to go. Tool still leads this race to Yari with a 2.8 second gap. I'm sure penalties will come into play. In fact, we'll have a very, very, very quick look at the penalties. I will just go through these. I'll try not to go too fast, but of course I want to get right back to the race in action. So let's see what the penalty situation is. I think Tool's got one there. Tool's got one. Plenty of incidents, as you can see. I haven't seen Yadi's name yet, though. Oh, there we go. So I think Tools and Yadi might have the same amount of penalties. I'm not sure. Maybe Yadi's got maybe one more, perhaps. I'm not too sure. Oh, a lot of incidents, actually. A lot of incidents. That is all the penalties. I apologize I had to go through that so quickly, but I don't want to miss any action on the track after what has been a very entertaining race so far. I'm sure you will agree. Frisky here, just getting on Vision a little bit, a bit of a lock up from Vision. But nevertheless is able to stay ahead of Frisky. So I think we'll stay on board here with Frisky Biscuit, who is just in the DRS zone of Vision. Goes very wide there, but has really compromised themselves, and that is going to allow Vision to pull away and get out of DRS. Meanwhile, speaking of DRS, Nico just closing the gap to Carcraft here. It is now less than a second. Both these drivers, of course, were in the championship battle in F1. And have battled each other before. So I'm sure they both know what to expect from each other. But Carcraft on those worn medium tyres, up against Nico, who's only been on softs for four laps. Can Carcraft hold on for the last couple of laps in this race? Gonna get DRS on Carcraft. But is he gonna be able to gain fast enough to make a move? He is gaining. Not by enough though, but it will help him get closer to potentially make a move as Carcraft locks up slightly there. As Tools picked up a 3-second time penalty, that could be crucial for the who wins this race. Yari though also then just picked up another penalty. It's definitely going to come down to who's had less penalties for the win. And maybe in this battle between Nico and Carcraft, that penalties will come into play as well. There's a yellow flag to set the free. Not sure who it is. Oh, it's Yari! It's Yari who has spun out just as he came to the start-finish straight, or actually on it. And that is ultimately, potentially going to throw to the win. That's a shame for Yari, that. But he should have enough of a gap to hold on to P2. Carcraft is about 20 seconds behind the Dutch driver. Meanwhile, Vision is all over Liam here. He's gaining on him. He's gaining. They go side by side here. And Vision, I think, has got the move done on Liam. And he has indeed. Meanwhile, Nico is gaining on Carcraft here. He's only got 2 laps to make a potential move. Unless he knows what the penalty situation that we don't know. Carcraft going a little bit wide there, looks what looked like. Nico keeping it nice and tidy on Carcraft as we enter the final lap of this race. The final lap, so only 1 lap for Nico to get past Carcraft. He's got the RS. He's gaining on him. Gaining. I wonder if he'll try a dive bomb here. No, he's not. He's going to stay in behind of Carcraft as he gets another wheel lock up from Carcraft. Looks like he's happy to stay in behind, so maybe he knows something that we don't. There's another DRS here. And he's... Oh, Nico has got past Carcraft. They go side by side. The move has been done and Nico has got himself into the podium position. As Tool comes across the line to win the Nations League Group 1 Race 1 here in Mexico. A fantastic job done by himself. Another fantastic job by Yari, who unfortunately had a little bit of a horrible time in that last quarter of the race. Had a little spin but managed to preserve P2. Very good result for him. Nico comes round the final corner. Excuse me. I wonder what penalties he's going to say about this. Penalties will keep Nico ahead of Carcraft on track. Vision gets past Carcraft on penalties. He puts him up to P4. Meanwhile, Liam gets P6. Frisky P7. Scotty Fennell jumps Frisky on penalties into P7. Bob Sadder coming around the final corner in his race to take P9, I think, and Sharakiki coming around the final corner to, last but certainly not least, to finish the race for us. How is it going with E-Mate, if that's how I say your name? As driver of the day is given to Liam. He did put a very good job in today, Liam. So no surprise the game decided to award him with that accolade. But it is Stool who takes the first race of the Nations League Group 1. Yari gets P2. Very good job by both of them. And here are your final standings for the race. So, as mentioned, Tooley had 12 seconds of penalty, so he actually had 3 seconds more than Yari. So maybe if he hadn't span out, he could have potentially had won that race there. That'll be a bit of a shame for him. Alright, sure, score face lad. Nico in P3, a very good job from him. 27 seconds of penalties at the back for Wet Boy and Drugs and Jules, I think, was it? They certainly didn't have a great race, did they? And that is it from all of us, guys. What a race that was. I think I'd give driver of the day potentially to Liam, actually, from P10 into P6, I think it is, or a bit higher than that. Decent work from him, but I think I'm still going to give my driver of the day to Tool, who just very good in qualifying, got P2, and just managed to stick with Yari, which is not easy to do, and then done the undercut, and that won him the race pretty much. So well done to all the drivers, of course. Hope you've all enjoyed the race. Thank you to everyone that's given us a wee follow today, much appreciated. And I will see you guys next week for round 2, which will be, I can just tell you where it is actually, if you give me a quick second. It is in Spain, so hope to see you all guys there. Have a lovely week, take care everyone, all the best, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra.